I want to thank y'all for the opportunity to be here today and get this out of the way. It keeps falling. But really, I consider myself in the presence of the patriots of this nation when I look around. And when they asked me to speak today, they said, will you come out and speak as a small business owner? And I told them I'd be happy to do that. And if you know anything about me, I'm a garbage man by trade. Barrymore Industries, or BMI. 8 years ago, I founded that company right here when I saw an opportunity when Mark Dunning sold out to Waste Management. It looked like the time that we needed a local business providing services for local community businesses around. And so I started driving a garbage truck. And I wanted to tell a story about my American dream. I drove a garbage truck, and to this day I still have a shower in my office from my American dream because it was a pretty rough job. You know, I bought an old $6,000 front load truck, and I'd go out and dump these front load cans, and then I'd go to the office and I would shower, and I'd go out and sell accounts all day. And I was scratching my head in December of 2007. I was sitting there watching, not CNN, Fox News. I was sitting there watching Fox News, and I remember thinking to myself, how in the world did we get to this point in our nation? How in the world is it that we have Barack Obama as president? And as I began to think about it in just a common sense garbage man kind of way, I thought to myself, I know what happened. We were at home raising our families. We were at soccer fields. We were at church or around a dinner table or working on homework, or we were tired because we had been working all day. And the liberals were at City Hall. And they were marching up and down these city streets. And they were at these courthouses. Times have changed. And because you're here today, you're going to see a change. And I'm not talking about the kind of change we got a few years ago, y'all. I'm talking about the kind of change that we need to take this nation back. But as I begin to think about, Lord, how in the world did we get to where we're at? What can I do to make a difference? I want my son, he's 8 years old. If he wants to start a garbage company, he ought to have the opportunity. If he wants to start a printing company, he ought to have the opportunity. But what have we done? The government, Ronald Reagan said that the idea of the government on the economy is if it moves, you tax it. If it keeps moving, you regulate it. And when it fails, you subsidize it. And that's what happens with the government and small business. Y'all, I don't think right now, honestly, this is the truth, 10, 15 years from now, a guy could start a small business in this nation and survive. The burden that they're putting on us from a federal level and a state level, it's incomprehensible. I mean, I see small business owners on a regular basis. I talk to them week to week, and they're struggling. They're working people part-time. They're laying people off, and they're closing their doors. Recently, I had a friend of mine. He shut his trucking company down. He said, Barry, he said, I just can't do it any longer. He said, you know what? He said, I'm going to take a job out here at Rucker. So between the DOT and the IRS and the EPA and ADM and the insurance liability, he could not stay in business any longer. And there's nothing wrong with going to work at Rucker. I got a brother that's a Marine fighter pilot, and I served in the reserves, and that's all fine and good, but somebody has to pay to defend this country. And I don't mind spending tax dollars on defense and infrastructure, but the problem is they're throwing our money down some black holes and bailouts. Nobody bailed me out. When I was in small business, nobody bailed me out. And their excuse is this, you know, they're too big to fail. If a company's too big to fail, then there's companies subsequently that are too small to survive. Do y'all understand that? There's some of us that don't matter no more. And if we don't do what it takes to create jobs in this nation, 80% of the jobs are created by small business owners. If we don't get government out of the way, unemployment's going to continue to climb. And I'm telling you that Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid do not have the answers to fix this economy, and I don't know if they want to fix it. I don't want to give Barack Obama too much credit, and I'm not going to. And I still don't know for sure, really, if he knows what he's doing. Either it's intentional, y'all, or something else. It's either intentional that he's trying to destroy the small business owner, or either he has no idea how to create jobs and stimulate the economy. And honestly, sir?
And they think we're dumb.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But y'all know, I heard the other day, and I was listening to the talk radio, and I know that's the, evil of the world. But they were saying that only 7% of Barack Obama's administration had ever worked in the private business sector. Now, you tell me how they're going to fix the problems in this economy if they've never worked in our economy.
I wonder if they balance their budget at home.
Well, they were saying last night they may not even offer a balanced budget this year in Washington because they're afraid of the number of zeros we're going to be looking at. And that may well be true. I'd hate to have to run on what they're passing up there right now. But with that said, honestly, y'all, we really need to get behind candidates this year, and I'm glad to see you here. But don't stop now. Don't stop now, because what we've got to do is we've got to take this nation back, and we've got to get conservative small business owners in there. And y'all, you always hear people say, well, we need term limits. And that's probably true, but do you realize you have term limits? It's called a ballot box. If you vote the rascals back in, it's your own fault. You understand? You can vote them out. That's right. That's exactly right. So, in a sense, we need to be about the business. And y'all, it's tough running for office. Let me tell you. I'm running this time around as a small business owner, and honestly, I'd rather go fishing. I'd rather run my company. But if somebody don't engage the process, the outcome's disastrous. We've got to engage, and I appreciate y'all engaging the process. And I'm gonna leave you with a quote real quick. Thomas Jefferson said that when the people fear their government, there is tyranny.
Right.
But when the government fears their people, there is what? Freedom. This kind of thing here sends a message to the elected people in office. This is the kind of message we need to be sending. We want our freedom back. We want our country back. Just get the government out of the way and let small business do what they need to do to fix the problems with this country. And the patriots of this nation have always rose to the occasion. They will not fail us now. Thank you.
Right.